Hello everyone! How are you? I hope you are well. I have missed you all. It has been a long time since we last listened to a song. Have you missed our songs like I have? Let's listen to our new song.
In my community, there were many musicians. They were talented. They knew a lot of symphonies. In my community, people had tons of talent. They sang a lot and they loved to dance. But now, I cannot say the same, for I am in a different place. I have a new community. People here are not the same, but luckily they're good as well. The people here love their books. They love to read and love to write. Instead of music, they have words to play with and make works of art. They call this art poetry. They call this art poetry.
So the people in the first community loved music and dancing. The people in the second community loved reading and writing. What is your community like? If you are a person who now lives in a new place, what was your old community like? I can't wait to get to know more about your present and past communities. Follow us to see how the community helps Mr. Shakib. Before we watch the video about how the community helps Mr. Shakib, let me explain what community is. Community is a group of people living together in the same town or neighborhood. Now, are you ready to see how Mr. Shakib's community helped him? Let's watch the video.
The power of community. Thud, thud, stomp. The townspeople rushed out to their balconies to see what that noise was all about. And here was Mr. Shakib hammering a paper on his wall. The paper said, "Dear townspeople, unfortunately, I will have to close my shop at the end of this month." The people were shocked. What is happening? They all wondered, but no one said a single word. They wouldn't dare. They felt so sad. It so happened that Rose, Usama, and Kate were passing by. They saw the note and went inside.
"Why are you closing your shop?"
The children asked. "Well, it has just become too much for me," he sighed. "I cannot make enough money to pay my bills." The children really felt his sadness, and they left with a broken heart.
"There must be something we can do."
They protested as they walked back home.
"We must tell our parents to help him out."
The parents listened to their children and called for a community meeting. Mr. Shakib was a dear member of the community, and they were not going to let him go without a fight. At the community meeting, they decided to collect a little money from each family and pay Mr. Shakib's bills for a few months. It was not a lot of money, but it was enough to support him until he was back in business and able to support himself. When the three friends took the money to Mr. Shakib, he did not accept it. "I couldn't possibly," he said. "I cannot take your money." But the children would not have it.
"You have been our friend and neighbor for many years. You have given us candy when we did not have enough money. Our street will not be the same without you. We will not let you go."
It was difficult for Mr. Shakib to accept the money, but he did. He knew it was out of love, and his neighbor's love was one thing he could never reject.
Let's see if you have understood the story. I will give you 3 sentences and you will guess if the sentences are true or false. If the sentences are true, give me a thumbs up. If the sentences are false, give me a thumbs down. Are you ready? Mr. Shakib was in trouble. Mr. Shakib asked the people in his community to help him. The people of the town gave Mr. Shakib a lot of money. All right, shall I give you the answers? The first one is true. Mr. Shakib was in trouble. He didn't do anything bad, but he was going through hard times and difficult days. He was having financial problems, which means problems that have to do with money. And that's why he posted his letter. We know he was in trouble because the letter says, "Dear townspeople, unfortunately, I will have to close my shop at the end of this month." He also mentions it when he talks with Rose, Kate, and Osama. "Why are you closing your shop?" the children asked. "Well, it has just become too much for me," he sighed. "I cannot make enough money to pay my bills." All right, let's move on to number 2. Number 2 says, Mr. Shakib asked the people in his community to help him. Is Mr. Shakib the one who asked for help? Let's check it from the text. The text says, the children really felt his sadness and they left with a broken heart. "There must be something we can do," they protested as they walked back home. "We must tell our parents to help him out." So, did Mr. Shakib ask for help? The answer is no. The children on their own, out of their love for Mr. Shakib, wanted to try to help him. That's why number 2 is false or wrong. Last but not least, number 3. It says the people of the town gave Mr. Shakib more money than what he needed. Is it true? Let's see what the text says. At the community meeting, they decided to collect a little money from each family and pay Mr. Shakib's bill for a few months. It was not a lot of money, but it was enough to support him until he was back in business and able to support himself. So could the people collect a lot of money? The answer is no. But they were able to collect enough money to help. Now, the next question is for you to reply in the comment box. Why do you think the children and the people in the community wanted to help Mr. Shakib? You might all have different answers, and that's okay. I can't wait to see what you will write. Now, we will focus on some of the verbs in the text. We have walked, wondered, happened, asked, sighed, protested, listened, called, and decided. In the second column we have said, was, were, not where, were, saw, went, felt, took, did, knew. All these verbs are called verbs in the simple past tense. The verbs in the first column are called regular verbs because they end with d, ed, and ied. The verbs in the second column are called irregular verbs because they change. Now, let's look at these words, carry and stay. How do these words end? Both these words end with y. Let's look at their past tense. The past tense of carry is carried, and the past tense of stay is stayed. But let's look at them closely. Carried ends with ied, and stayed ends with ed. But why? The key is looking at the letter right before the y. For instance, what do we have before the letter y in the word carry? Do we have a vowel or do we have a consonant? First, let's find out what's before the y. It is the letter R. Is R a vowel letter or a consonant letter? R is a consonant letter. Because it is consonant, we add IED. So this is what happens. To change carry to the past tense, we remove the y and add ied. Now, the second word is stay. Do we have a vowel or a consonant before the y? Let's see. We have A, and A is a vowel letter. And when we have a vowel letter before the y, we add ed. So, the regular past tense verbs end with d, ed, and ied. Now, let's move on to the irregular verbs. Remember that irregular verbs do not take d, ed, or ied. They simply change or stay the same. Can we try to guess to which verbs do the following past tenses belong? We have did, said, was, were, saw, went, felt, took, met, gave, had, knew, came. In the second column we have know, take, come, have, give, do, say, be, go, see, meet. Did is the past tense of do. Said is the past tense of say. Was and were are the past tense forms of verb to be. Saw is the past tense of see. Went is the past tense of go. Felt is the past tense of feel. Took is the past tense of take. Met is the past tense of meet. Gave is the past tense of give. Had is the past tense of have. Knew is the past tense of know. And came is the past tense of come. I hope you had many correct answers. Do not forget to answer today's question in the comment box. Why do you think the children and the people in the community wanted to help Mr. Shakib? Well, guys, this is all for today. Be good and stay safe. Bye.
لمشاهدة المزيد من الحلقات زوروا سات7 بلس.